continues to live after I die. That higher self that came in with this calling, this longing, this yearning. I lost that voice as I listened to the outer voices, as I listened to the outer world. And if you are a people pleaser, you lose that voice sooner because it becomes more important for you to listen to the voices outside and not the images and the calling inside. Now, people on the outside will tell you it's your imagination. Well, here's some breaking news for you. Your imagination is your connection to your truth, to your higher self. If it's your imagination, it's actually a good thing, not a bad thing. So absolutely allow your imagination to run wild when you're sitting in the bath or going for that walk in nature or listening to music, because your imagination is your connection to your higher self. Your imagination is your inner world. Okay, so how do you know if what you are getting is truth versus whether it's your mind, whether it's external messages? Sometimes a lot of people ask me that. They say, oh, but I get a lot of other messages that are fear-based, and so how do I know which one is truth? So here's the thing. Your true connection with your higher self will always give you love-based messages. It'll give you messages that make you feel good. It'll give you a path out of the issue you are in now, whatever that issue is, whether it's depression, whether it's a physical healing challenge, whatever that issue is, your higher self tries to find ways to guide you out. Our bodies are geared towards healing. Our bodies are not our enemies. They are trying to help us. It's us who don't listen, who give our power to the outside world, that are our own enemies, our mind. So whenever it's a message that feels uplifting, when it feels inspirational, when it feels, oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps, this is too good to be true, that is your higher self trying to tell you this is who you're meant to be. This is your calling. This is who you came in with the yearning to be. So always listen to that self. The self that is giving you the fear-based messages like, who do you think you are? You're not going to make it. Be practical. You got to take on a job that you hate because you have to pay the bills. Those are the messages from the conditioning of the outer world. Those are not real you, because the real you would never give you fear-based messages. Truth, the real you, the truth that comes through, never makes you feel small, never makes you feel fearful. It never dims your light. The things that do that, the messages that do that, are the messages that come from the world outside. The fear-based messages, the ones that make you feel small, those are not based on who you came here to be. Those are based on the conditioning that you've accumulated over a lifetime of being here and listening to the outer world. This is why it's so important to get in touch and in tune with who you are. Even if you're in danger and you need to know you're in danger, the messages from your true higher self will still not be fear-based. The way they help you out of danger is by helping you with the solution. It's by telling you that this is how you get from here to there. So the messages are always love-based messages, even to get you out of danger. Even if you're in a place where it is fearful, the true messages will always use a love-based method to get you out of danger. So remember, fear-based messages are not in truth. So now the more you tune into your true self, your real self, your higher self, the more you are charging your batteries. So here's the third thing I want you to watch out for is people who are people pleasers, who are doormats. Those are the ones that find it the hardest to take their power back and listen to their higher self and silence the voices that are bombarding them and the sensory overload that's bombarding them from the outside. The people who are people pleasers, who are afraid of disappointing others, afraid of shame, I want you to be aware of that. I want you to be aware how to do that. And the way to climb out of fear is not on focusing on, I'm filled with fear, I don't want to disappoint them. It's by shifting your focus to love. The only way to transcend fear is to increase love. How do you increase love? You start to choose consciously, take time out to tune into your inner self and choose to focus on the love-based messages. The only way to transcend fear is to focus on love. You cannot transcend fear by focusing on fear and trying to get rid of fear. You can only transcend fear by focusing on love. So spend time charging your batteries, soaking in a tub, or going out for a walk in nature, and listen to the love-based messages and follow them. Actually follow them. Focus on them, follow them, believe them, even if you have to do this exercise every day. One other tip to help you to charge your batteries and to focus on your inner self is that people who are people pleasers, empaths, and so on, doormats, find it very hard to receive. You find it very hard to receive from the outer world. You're very good at giving to the point you're drained. That's why your batteries get drained. And that's how you lose yourself to the outside world. You end up living a life that's not your life. You end up warping yourself into a pretzel just to please other people. Well, those are the people that are not good at receiving. I want you to be aware, and I want you to tell yourself, I am going to receive something every single day. If you can, receive at least 2 things every day. I don't tell you guys to practice a random act of kindness to others. I don't tell you to be of service to others. And the reason I don't tell you to do that is because those of you who are attracted to my work and my teachings and my books are already doing that. You're doing that to the point of draining yourself, and you've forgotten to take care of yourself. So I'm here to remind you, tune into your inner self, find out what your dreams, your goals, your yearnings, your calling is, and follow that. And it's totally okay to receive. It's okay to receive abundance from the world. It's okay to receive abundance from other people, because other people are channels of your highest self. They're channels and vessels of God and the universe, and they're here to give you. So just receive graciously, because when they are doing it, they are thanking you for being who you are. How many of you, when you receive something, immediately feel, oh my God, how am I going to repay them? And you bend yourself out of shape like a pretzel and stop being who you are. Actually think of your gifts that you're receiving as a thank you for something you've already done, so you don't need to repay it. It's the universe's way of thanking you for being who you are, for being the generous soul that you are, for being so giving. The abundance that you receive is to recharge your batteries so that you can keep being who you are. You don't need to be someone else. You don't need to warp yourself like a pretzel. Now I'd love to take some questions, but my screen has gone blank, so I'm going to turn to Danny, my wonderful boo, to read me out some questions.
Donna asks, how do I detach from my emotions when they arise, i.e. from stress due to a job, if it causes stress, anger, sadness, etc.? Should I quit?
Do you know, I'm actually going to say yes, you should, but it could be more fearful for you to quit like so abruptly right now, because you might have bills to pay and so on. But I would certainly definitely have that on the forefront of my mind, that, okay, everything I do now is to set myself up towards something better, and everything I do now is leading towards me leaving this job. And, because it starts with our past conditioning. So many of you are stuck in jobs that you don't like, that are making you stressful, that are creating illness in your body. So many of you are struggling financially because of past conditioning. You may have some conditioning that's telling you that if you're doing work where you follow your heart, if you're doing work that's considered spiritual, you shouldn't be making money and so on. And all this is very poor conditioning from our cultures, our societies. You truly should be receiving abundance for following your heart. It doesn't make sense for you to make money only from doing things that you hate to do, and then feel that when you're doing something spiritual, you should be living in poverty. In fact, you should be supported in doing things that are conscious and spiritual. You should make money from them so that you can continue doing that, because you're helping other people and you're helping the planet. How are you helping anyone by being in a job that you hate just because it pays the bills? To me, that paradigm makes no sense whatsoever. And it's time to leave that behind. It really is. That's why we've created all these businesses where people run sweatshops just to make money, and then the people who are doing really conscious spiritual work are struggling. They're struggling to make ends meet because they believe money is not spiritual, and then in order to pay the bills, they end up going to work for the very companies that we don't support because they support exploiting other people to make money. So do you see how this paradigm turns us against ourselves? We really need to start doing work that embraces who we are, that reflects who we are. We need to start doing work where we can follow our heart. And so I think it's probably another long conversation that I should do an entire video on how to do that, because I know so many of you are stuck in jobs and you can't leave them right away. But what can I tell you right now to help you just in the interim until I do such a video? It would be to tell you that be aware and be on the lookout for doing things. If you stay in a job that you hate, it could start to erode at things like your self-esteem. It erodes at your health. It erodes so many other things about you. It discharges your batteries. And the longer you stay at it, the more disheartening it becomes. So put it at the forefront. Start spending less time at that job. Start researching other things. Start becoming clear on who you are and what you really want to do. The clearer you are about what you want to do and who you are and what is your calling, the sooner you can bring it into your reality. Because all time exists all at once. And what we attract to us is not just our thoughts. It's not just our thoughts that create our reality. It's who we are. And the more you value yourself, the more you feel you're worthy and deserving of work that nourishes you, work that reflects who you are, work that makes you the abundance or the money that you deserve, the sooner you will attract it into your life. It's about the inner work you do inside. It's not about chasing and pursuing the right job. I hope that really helps, because I know that when I was ready to do the work I did, that I'm doing now, when I was ready, and up until that point, so I had cancer, I came back, I had healed, but I wasn't ready to share it with the world because I was afraid of the pushback, which I was already getting. I was sharing on forums and there was so much pushback, I stopped sharing. But one day when I was ready to share it with the world, when I realized this is who I had come here to be, this is who I am, that was the day when Wayne Dyer discovered my story. That was the day when I got the email from Hay House saying Wayne Dyer had discovered my story. It took them 5 months to track me down, but the day they discovered me was the day I was ready to share my story, not a day before. So it's not about chasing and pursuing, it's about knowing who you are. And when you know who you are, the world will provide you with the abundance that you need to fulfill what you need to do.